person is an old friend of mine, and he's just taking a picture with Sheila, and his name is Mel Davis. I met several years ago at George Benson's house. You know, he used to have parties. Actually, more than parties, they were jam sessions. At some point, I remember that he built a recording studio, so he was behind the board, you know, and let everybody play, you know. Said, okay, could you try that mic again? Okay, do it one more time, please. Anyway, during one of those sessions, you know, I met Mel. And so I'm going to read a couple of things about him. Melvin Davis, recording artist, vocalist, keyboard player, and organist extraordinaire, has understood the power of his hands to transport the sound of instruments from his imagination to a concert hall or nightclub full of eager, twitching bodies for all of his life, dating back to childhood. This was when Melvin's years residing in the multicultural city of Paterson, New Jersey, just 20 miles west of New York, dined on the sounds of musical greats like Dizzy Gillespie, Peggy Lee, John Coltrane, Jimmy McGriff, Alvin Valentine, and so many more. He played his first piano recital at 15, when cats his age were learning how to charm young ladies. Davis was sneaking into local nightclubs, hoping to charm the Hammond B3. The Hammond's big band grooves thanks to masters and club mentors such as George Benson, Larry Young Jr., brother Jack McDuff, Jimmy McGriff, and Dr. Lone Smith worked their way into Davis' DNA. Eventually, his ends were walking and talking good music. But you know what happened? Some years ago, Davis lost the ability to play with his hands. Check this out. Caught in the motorized belt of a fast-moving container-making machine where he worked to supplement his music income, a finger was ripped from his left hand, which was also split diagonally. You know, and you know, it's important to know this because, you know, as Sheila was saying, you know, never give up. Well, the rest is history. You know, now Mel is one of the best cats on the scene, you know, in spite of that terrible accident. Mel, could you please come to the stage? So this is particularly significant for me because, you know, I mean, he's really one of my best friends, you know, and, you know, sometimes you do things, you know, get on stage and you honor people that you might know even superficially, but in this case, it's a different story.
So it says, Mel Davis, organist, singer, and composer. I didn't put down producer, although he's also that. In recognition of your extraordinary accomplishments and contributions to the tradition of jazz, congratulations on your induction into the Trumpets Hall of Fame, October 29th, 2017.
Now you're going to say something now.
Tell you a story?
Yeah, whatever you want.
Nice jazz story.
What story?
Anything.
No.
I'm full of them.
Don't talk more than an hour and a half.
Okay.
That's all you have.
My story begins, fortunately for me.
Want to stand there? Go stand so they can see you in the light.
Mel Davis just turned 65.
All right.
I'm feeling like it. Hey, you know, I was very fortunate, very young, because as Enrico told you, I got to play piano sort of by fluke, because my mom didn't want me to touch the piano that she had custom made for my sister, and she had the name made just for Rona printed on the front of it in gold, and told us don't touch it. So every day when she would go to North Jersey Training School, my brother would come to me and say, "Hey Mel, I just bought the latest Jimmy Smith record. You better try to catch it, man. You better get on the piano and listen to it, see if you can learn it, man. So that's what developed my ear. Taking from what I hear on record and being able to convey it to the piano or to the organ. And when I was about 14, a friend of mine, or a friend of George's, had a group called the Chocolate Syrup, L.J. Reynolds Chocolate Syrup, back in the 70s. And he took me over to George Benson's house. This is before George was really George. He lived in the Bronx, and a nice little condo or co-op, whatever. And he was showing me the first time this board that Rudy Van Gelder just gave him, with knobs on it the size of that glass over there. It was so old, but it still sounded really good, an 8-track. And so I said, well, what the heck are you going to do with that? So he said, just listen. So then Dr. Lonnie Smith comes over, and they sit in the garage, which was converted to a studio, and started recording. And I told George, that's what I want to do. I want to do the same thing, man. I want to play organ and record. And one day, a few years later, George asked me to record some stuff with him. And the rest is history. And I was able to go from there to record 5 of my own CDs, record one with Enrico here, and forget it. I went around the world with Ronnie Jordan and Mos Def, and we did hip hop, R&B, jazz, and we headlined a lot of organ festivals in Newark with Joey DeFrancesco, myself, Jimmy McGriff, Jack McDuff, Charles Earlin when he was alive, and the most recent one was 2 years ago with Rhoda Scott at Symphony Hall. And when you look back at these things, I have a plaque in my bathroom that says commitment. And commitment to me, since I was a kid, man, commitment is when you keep going when others have quit. And no matter what it takes, no matter how much you're ridiculed, no matter how much people say you can't do it because of your color, because of your demeanor or whatever, you just keep going. And you meet people like Enrico. Look at him. That's my brother and my sister. I love them more than anything. And I'm just glad that I got the chance to represent this place, because this is home base for me, Trumpets.
And you're going to be there with.
Oh, I'll be here next Friday night with my band. So please come out and come up on the stage. I'm always calling people up on the stage to play with us. So come up and have a good time with us. Thank you.
Hey, Mel.
All right.
Turn that plaque. We just want to see the plaque.
Oh, yeah.
There you
Oh,
go.
then we're going to take a picture together. Okay, wait. Let's take a picture together.
Is that
On
right?
top, because it's the light just has to show.
Watch it, watch it.
You got it. Come on, Rico. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.